Greetings, Rigil Agateiades here, back after 2 weeks of seeing equations in my sleep. And of course, the best suit to warm up is one with 8 weapons at one of the hardest costs to survive. The suit we're on today is the 550 cost general type, Dezpada. And first of all, we're already in a bit of a pickle. Didn't go in a circle from the start because we spawned the furthest away. Instead, I chose to take this route to keep our enemies on our right hand side. Thankfully, that paid off. Once our team finished their circle and the formation is set, we still keep the advantageous position, and we can start doing Dezpada things. The Dezpada is clearly not an easy suit to use. Its 8 weapons take up all your possible weapon shortcuts. And no, you're not getting away being lazy and ignoring a few. Because having more weapons than fingers doesn't mean you have a lot of weapons to spare on the Dezpada. Instead, this suit is difficult exactly because you have to make use of every one of them to make an impact. With 2 melee weapons and side rods that fires on thrusters, the Dezpada can pull off raid type moves while also doing really good range damage with the wide arsenal of weapons. But the moment you don't do both things at once, you're really just half a Dezpada. Now the 8 weapons, this will be a long one. The main weapon is the Weapon Binder Beam Cannon, a very standard beam cannon with an instant stagger, but a heavy 80% heat rate. It is still your best bet on this suit in close combat though, because even with 8 weapons, it's the only real instant stagger. Second weapon is the same beam cannon but in rapid fire mode. Fires a long burst of 8, each with 14% stagger, so 112% stagger in total, but you have to stand still when firing. Good for damage follow-up, or simply shooting someone off the sky. Third weapon is the Binder Missile Launcher. Hold down the trigger and it fires in bursts of 3. Rather short range, but good DPS and stagger accumulation makes it good at close range, just not exactly as great as an instant stagger. And as the weapon list goes on, the weapons only get weirder. Fourth weapon is the Side Rod, an extremely powerful funnel type weapon that applies an instant stagger, and your best tool to start your solo attempt on support types. But while the coverage looked rather impressive, it actually tends to not hit if the target is moving quickly. Combined with the lack of slots to put on Cycle Frame to speed up the lock-on, is not reliable on the defense at all. Fifth weapon on the list, we're halfway there, and that's the large cruise missiles. Funky slow missiles that steer, but still a crucial part of the kit for ranged fights, because it's one of the only 3 that can reach 300 meters. Skip these missiles and you're missing out on a lot of damage, so make sure you dunk them whenever you have time. Steering them from behind cover is also a good idea. Sixth and final ranged weapon on the list would be your Vulcans. Good news on this one, you don't have to use them because they are quite bad. The final 2 weapons on the Dezpada are your melee weapons. The main melee weapon is a normal looking beam saber. Thank God that is relatively standard. While the down attack might be a few frames slower than normal, its range is slightly longer, and is good enough for your uses. The other set is not so normal though, and that's the Dezpada's Double Beam Saber. Does quite some damage, but doesn't allow melee combos, and the even bigger bummer is the down attack motion. It comes with a rather long leap for extra range, but because of this, it cannot hit immediately in front of you. And that's where you want to hit most of the time, as if there's not enough small things about this suit to annoy you. Overall, this suit has weapons for any situation, but they're just all only good for their own specific circumstance. So to be good on the Dezpada, you also have to be flexible in how you fight. Grind opponents that are good at melees with your guns from afar, and dive into the slower support types. Take advantage of your opponent's weak point, and you're finally making full use of the Dezpada. And it's not just the weapons that make the Dezpada a really good suit all round. Its speed and defense are also rather strong. Probably the thing you'll remember the most about the Dezpada when facing it is the 2 gigantic weapon pack binders. With the skill Weapon Pack Binder Special Cushioning, those 2 giant binders reduce damage taken by 50% and make stagger accumulation only 80% effective. Essentially 2 large shields that never break. Always try to take shots with those 2 and not your base. And with funnels flying everywhere at 550, you're going to take a lot of fire from your sides, but these binders are perfectly positioned to soak up those shots, allowing you to take the rain of funnel fire like nobody's business. Finally, to top off the all-roundedness of the Dezpada, you have its mobility. While stat-wise it's not anything spectacular, it does come with forced injectors and flight control program level 2, so as long as you're careful with your thruster gauge, the Dezpada can make any move you want it to. Combined with the way too large arsenal of weapons, the Dezpada can do literally anything for the team like duct tape. Be it outgrinding the opponent at range, tanking shots with the giant binders, or diving into the support type because your raid type is too busy getting killed. Name it and the Dezpada can do it for you. Well, temporarily. Thanks to the long reloads on almost every weapon, once the Dezpada used the weapon, it can't use it again for quite a while. The biggest one being the instant stagger beam cannon, because nothing else on the Dezpada is a real instant stagger. So be flexible with your approach to make use of every weapon on the Dezpada in order, or you'll run out of gas real soon. Still behind with 30 seconds left, but the kill gets delivered to our door. If we're something with less guns like the Perfect Gundam, we'd miss the kill, but with the Dezpada, we can simply evaporate the raid type from afar. Dodge the Doga strong stagger last moment and we avoid certain doom. Don't have to risk anything anymore, that Doga cannon was scary enough. Stay behind cover and it's a win in the bag. You know how they say a new type works by sensing the aggression from the enemy? Well, anyone can be a new type when they see a Doga with a big effing gun walk towards them. That was the Dezpada, and yes, it's a handful suit to use, but when you can make use of everything it's capable of, it's a really good general type, even at one of the harshest costs in the game. With something for any combat situation, but not enough for extended durations. Switch between different situations and the Dezpada can keep you busy for the whole 7 minutes. That's it from me today, good luck with your keybinds, and latest.